Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. Most of the chart analysts that I follow believe that the worst is behind us. XRP dropped down to 46 cents the other day, and Bitcoin as low as roughly $25,000. But most analysts out there, at least again the ones that I follow, seem to think that that was it, the bottom's in, the local low, it is in. So what then exactly is driving the market here? Here's a headline from the Crypto Basic asking just that. Top expert says narratives cannot drive XRP price. Okay, so then what is it? And then there was also this, and don't tell any Bitcoin maximalists out there because it might ruin their day, but here's a headline also from the Crypto Basic. XRP investment products see $700,000 inflows, while Bitcoin and ETH record $73 million in outflows. So folks, I know that 700,000 isn't that big when you compare what's happened with the two heavyweights out there in terms of market cap, Bitcoin and ETH, and massive amount of institutional money running for the exit. That's that modest sounding 700,000 inflow for XRP, not sounding too bad. Oh, and also, by the way, another reason that I firmly believe that the best is yet to come, obviously we've got XRP legal clarity here, but I think what will be another major real-world catalyst that isn't just simply a narrative is all the spot Bitcoin ETFs. And there's an article from Cointelegraph and all sorts of platforms, of course, covered this today, but Franklin Templeton files for spot Bitcoin ETF. So yet another firm, and this is a major firm, by the way, filing for a spot Bitcoin ETF. Now, I'm going to share with you what the total quantity of assets under management is for the firms that have filed. It is staggering. And then if you factor even just like a modest 0.5% of that going into the world of crypto, my God, the multiplier effect on the current market cap for crypto. Whew. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Now, as I record this video, XRP is at 48 cents. Bitcoin's just a hair below $26,000. But again, just the other day, and I'm sure pretty much all of you are aware at this point, XRP did drop as low as 46 cents and Bitcoin down to about $25,000, causing absolute panic out there. No, I didn't panic. I didn't care. In fact, I put out the following post on X, formerly known as Twitter. I wrote, I held when XRP was 10 cents in 2020. I was down substantially, but I slept like a baby. You think 47 cents is going to shake me? Laughy emoji. Try harder, bears. and truth be told, like I was talking about this at the time, back in 2020, when XRP actually got down to that 10 to 11 cent region, I decided to buy. And it was a very short-lived moment. XRP was not 10 cents for very long. But I went into purchase mode, and I was able to purchase XRP as low as 15 cents, the lowest I had ever purchased it. And I just didn't believe for a moment that the fact that XRP was going in that direction was an indication it would never be worth more in the future. And I have the same mindset right here, right now. Because as far as I'm concerned, I've not wavered on this. Either it's a binary bet. Either XRP goes to zero in the future, or it at some point hits a new all-time high in interest price discovery. That's what I believe. And you know which way I'm betting, right? XRP is my largest individual crypto holding. Now, like I said, most chart analysts that I follow do think that the worst is in. In fact, so I'm sure many of you caught the Blockchain Backer's most recent video, where he highlighted that the crashing structure is complete. Looks like this is just another indicator that the bottom's in. And I don't want to regurgitate a bunch of TA, but I encourage you to check out his video if you hadn't yet seen it. But that type of sentiment is what I keep seeing here. You know, and that's why like the people that in the beginning part of this year are saying that the lows, the November lows after the FTX collapse last year were going to get taken out and $12,000 Bitcoin's coming and all this. No. The best is yet ahead, for sure. And I know that some people are still feeling disappointed because after XRP got legal clarity, we didn't see a new all-time high, this or that. But it's really not the end of the world. It's not. It doesn't. That in and of itself doesn't mean anything. Like I personally am not one to be reading into something like that, and I'll explain why. But let me jump into this article here. Top expert says narratives cannot drive XRP price. And folks, that concept alone is something that I've spoken about fairly broadly over the years. Frequently when price action is occurring, whatever is happening, like, you know, big moves up or down, whatever's happening for the moment, that it is attributed as the reason why. And yeah, fair enough, sometimes news events actually do happen, and that is the catalyst for markets moving, but so frequently it's actually the other way around. It's just people are doing what they're doing, and they're, you know, they copy one another, and then directionally, price starts going one way for a various asset, and it just continues to go that way. But I don't think that in many instances that it's anything more than just that. And so then whatever's happening, that must be the reason. That's what they say. But in terms of something that would be sustained anyway, you can even talk about clarity for XRP. The narrative in and of itself isn't something that was going to be, I guess, the most consequential point. It's the fact that XRP does have legal clarity, and over a prolonged period of time, that will result more money flowing into XRP. So the initial move to the upside, fun to see XRP price almost double in a matter of hours on July 13th. But the exuberance around there, ultimately, it's not going to matter. It's more like XRP's unshackled, and so then when the market does run and people enter euphoria, market participants enter euphoria, which will inevitably happen again at some unknown point in the future, I believe anyway, that's when it matters most. In the future is when XRP's legal clarity will matter most. And so there is this post on X from Benjamin Cowan, very well known in the world of crypto. And so he's got his own YouTube channel, and he's one of the chart guys out there who's generally pretty well respected here. And he wrote the following about XRP just yesterday. He said, XRP has retraced the entirety of the move that came after the SEC v. Ripple case. Narratives do not drive the market. Liquidity does. Okay, so I broadly agree with that, actually. And so a couple of things here. It doesn't matter that XRP is fully retraced, after its big move to the upside, and when it got up to 90, 93 cents, whatever it was. That doesn't matter. I firmly believe that because XRP today is higher than it would have been without that legal clarity. So there still was a monetary benefit even for us living here in the short term. But in terms of what actually drives the market, folks, he says liquidity here. Let me word it like this. How about, simple supply and demand? How about that? How about when there's way more demand in the future, that's when price goes up? Maybe it really is that simple. And there are a number of reasons why I believe that demand will increase, specifically around XRP. But in the short term, does it matter? I mean, it's great to have the positive news in July. I'm right there with you, especially after 2.5 years of nonsense from Kim Jong-Gensler. All I'm saying is that what really matters occurs in the future as a result of what was the table being set on July 13th. That's the point that I'm making there. And so, that's what's going to drive the market. So that, and then you got to ask the question, is the worst actually behind us? Well, I don't pretend to know for sure, but I find the arguments from many chart analysts, including the blockchain backer, to be rather compelling, certainly. And also, it's interesting to see how institutional money is treating XRP, Bitcoin, and ETH versus retail speculators, because again, there's this headline here from the Crypto Basic: XRP investment products see $700,000 inflows, while Bitcoin and ETH record $73 million in outflows. And frankly, the headline says the most crucial part, so I don't even feel the need to read this article to you. But again, just to be clear, this information, it comes from CoinShares, and I highlight what they share from time to time, what they publish. And it's just, again, I know the $700,000 figure isn't that big in the scheme of things, but compare that to $73 million in outflows over the same period for Bitcoin and ETH. Whew. It's in that sense, it's kind of fun to see that, right? And again, this is on an institutional level. And so people, I think that on an institutional level, people broadly get it. But the best is yet ahead. And you can thank, I believe, the spot Bitcoin ETF. And so like when the SEC lost that lawsuit with Grayscale, and there was a pop in the market, sure. It's another situation, like I was saying, though, where like, okay, so July 13th, fun to see that news with the SEC v. Ripple case that caused a pop in price for XRP, and then Bitcoin even followed. Cool, happy to see that. But is that narrative what actually is most going to matter? No, it's the matter of fact that there's legal clarity. And so the SEC losing the war against crypto, and especially as it pertains to spot Bitcoin ETFs, that's what will actually matter. So it was fun to see the pop with the Grayscale news. That's not what's actually going to matter. What's going to actually matter is when these things get approved. And then the real world impact of that and the amount of money that flows in, that is what actually matters. And so here you have the headline from Cointelegraph: Franklin Templeton files for spot Bitcoin ETF. Asset manager Franklin Templeton applied with the United States Securities and Exchange Commission on September 12th to launch a spot Bitcoin exchange traded fund, or ETF for short. The S1 registration statement comes after the SEC delayed decisions on spot ETF applications from WisdomTree, Valkyrie, Fidelity, VanEck, Bitwise, and Invesco on August 31st. And a court ruling on August 29th that the SEC must consider Grayscale's application to convert its Bitcoin futures ETF into a spot ETF. According to the application, the fund would be structured as a trust. Coinbase would custody the Bitcoin, and Bank of New York Mellon would be the cash custodian and administrator. Fund shares would trade on the CBOE BZX exchange. The SEC's next deadline for deciding on the application is October 16th. Okay, so maybe it's going to get delayed just like everything else seems to get delayed, but they can only push back these applications so far. And so like if you're talking about the one that I'm most interested in, the BlackRock spot Bitcoin ETF, the furthest that they can push this application back is March. We're going to have an answer on that in short order. And so I'm just glad that I'm positioned because we are here ahead of the vast majority of institutions and humans on the planet. That's what actually matters right here. But look at all of these firms. There's this account on X named Bitcoin for Freedom, and they added up the assets under management for all of the firms that are filing for a spot ETF, Bitcoin spot ETF. And so you got BlackRock, Fidelity, Franklin Templeton now, that's the new one, Invesco, Galaxy, WisdomTree, VanEck, GlobalX, ARK Invest, Bitwise, and Valkyrie. And then he noted here, just added all this up, all their assets under management, and it comes out to $17.7 trillion. $17.7 trillion. Okay, now we've got what's the market cap right now? So a little over $1 trillion for the crypto asset class. So consider this. If just 0.5% of those assets under management, which is not exactly a big number, even just 0.5% of that ends up getting reallocated into crypto, invested into crypto broadly speaking, that is $885 billion. So almost $1 trillion. If that happened, and not that it would all necessarily literally happen at once, it's not that one, but even if that happened over some period of time, whether it was a year or 2 or 3 or whatever it ends up being, $885 billion. Folks, that's almost as big as the crypto market cap is right now. But it's even better than that. Because when that type of demand hits a market, you get a multiplier effect. It's not like you add $885 billion to the existing market cap and that's what it is and that money comes in. No. The prices are going to get bid up for everything. People will be fighting. These assets are scarce. So you're going to get a multiplier effect on that. So if you're talking about putting in $885 billion, not far off from $1 trillion of actual money going into crypto, what do you think that's going to do? Wouldn't you have like a multiplier effect of several times that at a minimum? Would it be higher than that? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? We can speculate. I don't pretend to know exactly what it would be. But there's that, and then throw that on top of all of the additional interest that would result from that money flowing in. Prices start going up, and then retailers are going to start paying attention, and it's just like floodgates. So this is what we're waiting for. Which is why in the short term, I'm sitting here laughing. I know some people are feeling scared and stuff. XRP got down to 46 cents. I can't help but laugh. Sorry, folks. It's not to be mean or anything like that, but I've been in this almost 6 years, and I know that none of this short-term price action matters. I'm interested in it purely because I got skin in the game. It's fun to track it. I'm sure you guys feel the same too, but it just doesn't matter in the end. I'm excited because of what is ahead here. This is all coming, so it's fun to see that most of the analysts that I'm following do seem to think that the local bottom's in, that's it. As Blockchain Backers stated, and you should check out his video, crashing structure is complete. What do you think happens next then? Let's just say I'm optimistic. Let's just say that. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.